stays with us. You're leaving. Don't take him out.
Amina and her baby stayed in the uncompleted building for 3 weeks. 3 weeks of rain, hunger, and fear. By day, Amina went out to wash clothes, clean compounds, and beg for small jobs. By night, she returned to broken walls and held her daughter close, whispering promises she wasn't sure she could keep. Eventually, she found a place, a tiny plank house, almost as bad as sleeping under a bridge, but it had a roof, and that was enough. Years passed. Amina struggled alone with her daughter, who often fell sick. The rain from that night had never really left the child's body. Hospital visits, sleepless nights, quiet prayers, and always Amina thought of her son. He would be 5 now. One day while washing clothes for someone, Amina looked up and froze. David stood there. He looked older, softer. He said he had been looking for her. He apologized. Amina walked away with tears in her eyes, but David did not give up. He returned again and again, until one day he found her home. He begged, he promised change. He asked her to come back, for their son, and for the sake of the sick child. Amina was tired of struggling, tired of watching her daughter suffer. She agreed. This time was different. David's mother had returned to the village, and David did not allow interference again. For a while, peace returned. Amina became pregnant, and this time, David was present, loving, gentle, attentive. She believed again. Then David was transferred to another city. Amina was 6 months pregnant when he left, but he stayed in touch. He sent money, he called, he visited. For 2 years, they lived like that. Then David returned home for 3 months and left again. Not long after, Amina discovered she was pregnant. Again, the 4th child. David was happy. He did everything right, at least on the surface. When the child turned 4, David moved them to the city where he worked. At last, they lived together, like a family. But David changed again. This time, Amina was no longer weak. No women were brought home, no shouting, no love either, just emptiness. Years later, the truth surfaced. David had 2 children with another woman, and he wanted to marry her. Amina did not cry. She stayed. For our children. Life became cruel again. The new wife became the boss. Amina and her children became servants. Years passed, but something was growing quietly. Her children succeeded. They rose. They remembered every sacrifice. And one day, they took their mother away, out of the country, far from pain, far from memory. When David lost everything, the other woman left him. He grew old alone. He begged. No one came. He paid for his choices. David grew old alone. The house that once echoed with the voices was silent now. No children, no wife, only memories that refused to sleep. He called names that no longer answered him. He begged people who no longer remembered him. The strength he once used to hurt others failed him. And one night, in the same loneliness he created, David died. There were no tears waiting for him, only silence. Amina, on the other hand, found peace. She lived long. She saw her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She never suffered again. One evening, in a well-finished apartment in the UK, Amina sat quietly. Remembering, she cried, not from pain, but from release. Her last child held her hand and said, "You suffered then, so we could live now." Amina smiled. The girl who became a shadow finally lived in the light.